You've heard it before. Can you give us a quick estimate? Ballpark figure, rough order of magnitude, no commitment needed. And you already know. That number will end up on slide 7 of a board presentation labeled as the budget, no matter how many disclaimers you gave. Let's see how and why this disaster unfolds every time. But first, welcome to It Depends, the channel where we provide digital therapy and tell you the truth about tech projects no matter how uncomfortable it gets. My name is Philipp, and if you're here to hear the hype, you're in the wrong place. If you're here for clarity, brutal honesty, and a few rants along the way, you're home. Today's uncomfortable truth is your IT project will probably cost more than you think. I've personally spent over 20 years on the system integrator side. I've pitched projects, I've run projects, I've cleaned up projects. And if I had $1 for every time a lowball estimation blew up later in delivery, well, I'd have enough budget to properly estimate your next project. So why do cost estimations go wrong so often? Let's unpack it. Cost estimations often feel like a negotiation tactic, not a risk assessment. And companies fall for the illusion of control. If the number is on paper, it must be true. If the number is lower, it must be better. If we fix the budget early, we're safe. Spoiler alert, none of this is true. What's worse, most estimations happen when you know the least about the real scope, and yet they lock you in early, because the board needs a number and procurement needs a budget cap. Before we jump into the real cost drivers, let's clarify a few things and talk about what we actually estimate in the first place: customization. That's where you write code to change behavior. It's powerful, but it increases costs, complexity, and future maintenance. Configuration, on the other hand, it's adjusting what's already built into the system. No code, it's faster, but you're limited by what the platform actually allows you to configure. And then there is front-end versus back-end changes, where front-end means what users see and touch. It's UI, it's UX, it's branding. Backend, on the other hand, is where the logic, the data processing, and the integration lives. And there is actually a good work in the SAP development framework for it. It's RICEFW, RICEFW. The SAP folks will know, but it's reports, interfaces, conversions, enhancements, forms, and workflows. It's basically a fancy packaging for everything that's not standard will cost money. So now let's take a look at the 4 horsemen of estimations. Number 1, integration, the budget graveyard. On paper, APIs sound great. We have a REST API, here's the Swagger spec. But in practice, the business logic behind those APIs, it's either missing or it's undocumented. Error handling, well, ambiguous at best or non-existent at worst. Data validation rules, hidden in legacy systems. Authentication flows, well, not even tested yet. And let's not forget the mocking trap. You build months with fake data and mocked services only to realize in real integration that the data doesn't fit, the response times suck, or the API limit kills all your ideas about batch processing. Integration is never plug and play. It's always custom fit and pray if you don't prepare properly. Number 2, customer participation, the invisible dependency. Here's the part nobody likes to hear. Your team on the client side is part of the cost equation. If your key resources are stuck in daily operations, unavailable for workshops, or unable or unwilling to make fast decisions, you will burn time and money. No clear requirements, no validation of results, no steering committee that actually steers. Welcome to the loop of death. More waiting, more back and forth, more rework. And guess what? That's your cost as much as the suppliers. Number 3, front-end changes, the hidden complexity trap. Here's a dirty little secret. Front-end is harder than you think. One button change can trigger days of retesting. One color tweak can start weeks of brand alignment, and one stakeholder's opinion can derail months of design work. Front-end is where subjectivity meets technology, and that's a pretty dangerous mix, because suddenly everyone's an expert. Can we just move this to the top? What if we try a different interaction pattern? My wife looked at it yesterday and said, well, the list goes on and on. Every tiny change triggers cross-device testing, browser compatibility checks, accessibility compliance. Front-end work is not free. It's scope on steroids if you don't manage it tightly. Number 4, breaking the standard. The domino effect you didn't see coming. Every platform comes with best practices and default processes. You can override them, sure. But here's what happens when you do. Updates might become harder to apply, integration breaks in unexpected places, user training gets more complicated, support teams lose their ability to help quickly. What felt like a small win today becomes a long-term liability tomorrow. The more you drift away from standard, the more you own the complexity. So, how do you avoid the estimation trap? Number 1, slow down to speed up. Don't rush into a number. Take time to break down real user journeys, real integrations, real edge cases, because if you skip discovery, you'll pay for it in delivery. 2, use experiments and proof of concepts. Build small, cheap, disposable experiments. Test integration points early and validate user journeys with prototypes. A few thousand spent on discovery can save you hundreds of thousands in delivery. Number 3, manage expectations with brutal honesty. Tell your stakeholders what you don't know yet. Make them part of the risk conversation. Frame estimations as ranges, not fixed numbers. Because remember, there are no silver bullets in IT. There are only trade-offs. So, the next time someone asks for a quick estimate, ask them back. Do you want a number or do you want the truth? Because knowing what you don't know yet is the most valuable insight you can have at the start of any project. And before you go, I'd love to hear your war stories. What's the worst estimation disaster you've seen? What lessons did you learn the hard way? Drop it in the comments below. And hey, if you found this video helpful, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next episode of It Depends. So, see you in the next one. Cheers, bye-bye.